swamps may seem like nothing more than breeding grounds for mosquitoes. But beneath those murky waters lie secrets far stranger than you'd ever expect. From lurking humanoid figures ready to pounce on unsuspecting prey, to creatures so bizarre they seem ripped from nightmares, our swamps are hiding the unimaginable. Two friends were on their way to a local farm when they happened upon something they might never forget. As they walked along a ditch, a movement in the muddy water caught their eye. Cameras in hand, they hoped it was an uninteresting sea creature. But what they saw was clearly out of this world. A dark creature with glowing eyes rose out of the water. There's no way to tell what it was, but one thing was for sure. It was a humanoid figure and looked like it was draped in seaweed. But before the entity could come any further, the two men took off, screaming. Netizens think they witnessed the Heron, a sea-dwelling humanoid in Chinese folklore. But what do you think this was? Giant anaconda. For centuries, indigenous tribes have passed down stories of the giant anaconda that dwarfs the average anaconda, stretching up to 30 meters long. But could it be more than just a myth? According to this drone footage, it very well could be. A man was seen floating leisurely in a lake. But things take a shocking turn when you realize that he was not alone. A massive serpent silently slithers below him in the water as if sizing up its newfound prey. But before it made its next move, the video cut off. But the video has faced heavy criticism as many believe it was edited. Mermaid on edge. A family trip by the riverside turned mythical when they spotted something straight out of folklore. Figures that could only be described as mermaids perched on rocks at the lake's edge. With pale blue skin, humanoid upper bodies, and massive fishtails, the creatures appeared to be calmly enjoying the breeze. But as soon as they noticed the camera, they vanished into the water without a trace. Many netizens were captivated yet unsettled, claiming these entities looked nothing like the mermaids they'd imagined. Meanwhile, skeptics brushed it off as a hoax. But could this be evidence of the mythical beings hiding in plain sight? Ghost mermaid. This clip brings together two Indonesian ghost hunters and a sighting of a legendary mermaid. One they were convinced was a spirit, capable of appearing anywhere she wishes. They tracked the ghostly figure, ready to capture it. But what happened next was both eerie and unexpected. As one of the hunters grasped the mermaid, the camera suddenly blurred, almost like it entered a blend mode. Just then, the hunter lost his balance, and the mysterious creature slipped from his grip, swept away by the canal's fast current. Apologizing to viewers, the duo claimed it was the power of the ghostly mermaid that blurred the camera. Encounter with unknown. What started as an ordinary swimming trip for a group of friends quickly turned into an eerie encounter. As they were splashing around, one of them noticed a strange creature in the water. This was no ordinary fish. It had a long, serpent-like tail and a human-like head, almost as if it were some bizarre mix of human and serpent. Curious, one of the friends tried poking it with a stick, hoping to figure out what it was. But the creature didn't react at all, just floating there, unbothered by the humans around it. Its strange behavior led many to believe it might be a river spirit, or maybe even a ghost. Crawling serpent. Have you ever wondered if dragons were more than myths? This viral video might have an answer to that. Posted anonymously, the clip featured something unbelievable. An orange-colored serpent with a horn protruding from its head was slithering on the ground. Many believe the footage was genuine proof of the existence of the mythical being, comparing it to the Chinese dragon. Others suggested it might even be an undiscovered species of snakes. However, skeptics dismissed the clip as a hoax. creepy creature. A bizarre clip has been making rounds on the internet, leaving people completely baffled. It looked like a gelatinous creature shaped vaguely as a hand crawling on the floor. Nobody had any idea what this being was, with many even panicking, thinking it was some type of a virus. But it turns out that the entity was actually a digital creation. I don't know what to believe if CGI has gotten this realistic. Scary encounter. A group of friends decided to go out on a nighttime adventure, but got more than they bargained for. While walking along a stream surrounded by dense bushes, they spotted a dark, eerie figure floating just above the water's surface. It had a long, trailing tail and an oddly shaped head, looking like a creature straight out of a horror film. At first, they thought it was a mutated eel. But eels aren't common in that area, so curiosity got the better of them. As one of them nudged the creature with a stick, it suddenly sprang out of the water, charging at him. The friend managed to dodge the attack, but the group was left spooked with no idea what the mysterious creature could be. Forest elf. Back in 2012, a photographer was hiking through a forest in England hoping to capture beautiful scenery. But what he got was something totally unexpected. From the corner of his eye, he spotted a creature sitting on a tree. It was a small humanoid figure that appeared to be looking at him, unmoving the whole time. Netizens believe it was a forest elf. Others suggested it might just be a part of the tree itself, noting how it didn't move an inch throughout the video. But what do you think it was? Humanoid goat. A man filming a popular tourist attraction in India accidentally captured a bizarre-looking entity no one has an explanation for. The creature looked otherworldly with ram-like horns protruding from its head. Judging by its stealthy movements, it looked like the entity was looking for an innocent prey. Many called it the swamp creature, while others were convinced it was a sheep squatch, an eerie creature with the head of a ram and the body of a large, burly man covered in thick white fur, preying upon anything that crosses its path from livestock to the occasional unfortunate human. But the mystery of this weird creature is still out there. Sneaky hand. A family posted a clip from a summer boat ride, but this video is far from ordinary. Do you see anything unusual? Let's replay it. There. Did you catch it? A mysterious hand gripping the edge of the boat right behind the little girl. It looked human, yet the way it quietly surfaced from the water was anything but normal. Netizens have been buzzing with theories. Some say it's the ghost of a drowned soul, while even skeptics struggle to call it a hoax. It seemed all too real. So, what do you think? Is there more to this boat ride than meets the eye? Hairy monster. After hearing rumors about a swamp monster inhabiting a neighboring ditch, a group of friends decided to go see for themselves. They put some food on the bridge as bait to bring out the entity. And to their shock, it soon surfaced. Humanoid in nature, the thing was covered in thick fur. It inched cautiously toward the bait, as if feeling the presence of the humans spying on it. But what could it be? One theory is that it was a Bigfoot, but skeptics brushed it off as a cleverly staged hoax. Octo Monster. A Brazilian farmer was tilling the ground for next year's crops when suddenly the earth beneath his feet gave way, revealing a vast chasm, and within it was something truly horrifying. Numerous tentacles swirled around the main body of the creature. That kind of resembled an octopus, except they don't burrow into the mud like that. Terrified, the farmer bravely managed to film the thing for a few seconds before fleeing the place. Now the question is, if the video wasn't fabricated, where did that octopus monster go? Because the farmer reported it had just vanished when he came back with the authorities. Hairy snake. All kinds of bizarre creatures have been surfacing, but this one definitely takes the cake. Nobody has any idea if this creepy, worm-like thing is Mother Nature's own creation, Or if it's just something that flew here from Mars, it looked like some type of snake with hair on its body. The uploader had found it near a beach and left it to the netizens to decide what it was. Many theorized that it was a snake hybrid, most probably created inside a lab. If you have any insights on this, let me know in the comments. Mermaid Skeleton. A strange video has captured the interest of people around the world. Posted anonymously, it featured a tiny, decomposed skeleton washed up at the edge of a lake. Now, what set this apart was it had a humanoid skull and upper body, complete with shoulders, ribs, and hands. But instead of feet, it had a structure that hinted at a fishtail. The guy who found the skeleton was convinced it was a mermaid. However, skeptics dismissed the clip as a hoax, saying it looked man-made. Misunderstood. With a croc-like face, long, snake-like body, and powerful legs propelling it forward at shocking speed. This creature didn't look like any ordinary animal. The video left people stunned, some even speculating it was a swamp monster or sewer creature come to life. A couple trekking near a swamp had spotted the bizarre creature slithering along with surprising agility. As the frenzy settled and people examined the clip closely, they realized it wasn't some cryptid, but rather a handicapped crocodile. The poor animal was missing its front legs and had adapted remarkably to the loss, giving it that eerie, otherworldly movement. Panama Creature. Back in 2009, a couple of teens found something truly bizarre in Cerro Azul, Panama. It was the carcass of an unidentified creature, pale body, unusually long limbs, and an almost human-like appearance. As the video of the entity circulated online, people started calling it the Panama Creature, thinking it was an alien or an undiscovered animal. Experts, however, managed to reach the conclusion that it might be the decomposed body of a sloth that is known to swim on occasion. However, no solid proof has been provided regarding that. But the question is, how did it lose all its hair? A disease? Or perhaps it was actually some monster? Talking about mysterious carcasses washing ashore. Here's another one. Back in 2015, another shocking carcass had washed up at a river's edge. The bloated creature had an unsettlingly human-like appearance, but was too decomposed to be identified. Another strange thing about it was the skull floating near it. It didn't look like it belonged to the entity, making people speculate if it was a prey. The experts who collected the body claimed it was a monkey. However, locals were convinced it was a chupacabra or some other blood-sucking demonic creature. Swimberries. When I first saw this clip, I was ready to write it off as CGI. Imagine if a blackberry and a fish were somehow crossed in a bizarre lab experiment. It sounds like a sick joke, right? Well, it turns out this creature is actually real. Many on the internet felt disoriented watching it too. But it's not a digital creation. Meet the black oranda fish. This unique cold water fish, with its unusual shape and blackberry-like crown on its head, is actually a popular choice for aquariums. Sewer Monster. Sewer workers were going about their usual duties when strange noises echoed through a sewage tunnel. Thinking it might be a trapped animal, they followed the sound, only to stumble upon something completely otherworldly. The creature looked like it had jumped straight out of a horror movie. Its bizarre head and mouth lined with sharp teeth gave it the look of a mutated monster fish. Without a second thought, the workers fled the scene, too spooked to look back. But when news got out, and experts went in to investigate, the creature had mysteriously vanished without a trace. What do you think really happened here? Tangy fellow. The internet has been buzzing over a strange rumor. People claiming they've seen a video of a real-life Pokemon. Before long, the clip went viral. and many agreed it really did look like a creature straight out of the Pokemon universe. This bright, fluorescent orange creature had tiny limbs, was massive, and moved with a sluggish, snail-like crawl. But soon, experts cleared up the mystery, pointing out that it was actually an extremely rare type of salamander. Still, I think we can all agree, it looks pretty magical on its own, almost like a Pokemon come to life. Big-headed turtle. Check out what one stunned local discovered on a quick trip around a lake. When he spotted an extraordinary turtle, he had to stop and take a closer look. This reptile had a head so massive, it was nearly half the size of its entire body. After he uploaded the clip on social media, people went wild with speculation. Some even believed it was a real-life Pokemon, claiming it looked just like Choodle. However, the truth behind this creature was a bit more down-to-earth. Experts identified it as a rare species known as the big-headed turtle, native to Southeast Asia. Roadside goo. If you have a weak stomach, you might want to look away, because seeing something like this will make even the toughest of people feel nauseated. A Texas park road became the scene of a disgusting mess when rangers discovered clumps of what they thought were spaghetti, right in the middle of the road. But things took a crazier turn when they found the mounds lining the street were actually tangled worms. Experts still aren't sure how or why this happened, but one theory is that they clustered together as a defense mechanism against predators. Whatever the reason, it's enough to make anyone's stomach turn. Bizarre entity. Villagers in Thailand recovered a bizarre-looking carcass from beside a riverbed. It looked like a cow, but the scales on its body told another story. The locals were convinced this was some otherworldly water-dwelling entity. The video quickly became the talk of the town after it was uploaded. Netizens believe the thing was a cross between a reptile and a buffalo, with many calling it a buffalo lizard. However, others suggested that the poor thing might just have a skin disease that gave it such a peculiar appearance. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. Sea monster. Back in 2013, a very bizarre video emerged from China, leaving everyone buzzing with speculation. It featured the carcass of a massive sea creature being hoisted onto a truck, surrounded by a sea of locals. This mystery creature led to a heated debate online, where some called it a sea monster. Others argued it could be some version of the Nessie, while the rest believed it was some off-breed of the legendary kraken. However, experts who have watched the video believe it is a beached whale. So, what do you think it could be? Leave your comments below. Hybrid creature. This strange sight has people scratching their heads. A creature resembling a mix of a dolphin and a catfish was caught on camera by a fisherman in his local river. It was trying to snatch a scrap of food from the shore, clamping it expertly in its mouth before slipping back into the water. Theories spread fast, with some speculating it was an animal hybrid, while others proposed it might be an unknown sea lion species or even an eel. However, many experts pointed out that it could simply be a malformed catfish or an unusual freshwater eel. Beached mystery. A beachgoer's fun day out took a mysterious turn when he discovered something strange lying on the sand. It was a small creature with a pinkish skin and strange tentacles attached to its upper body. Either it was an animal decomposed beyond recognition, or Mother Nature threw another curveball at us. While many believed it was a mutated or decaying carcass, others suggested it might be a new type of parasite. Now that sounds really scary, but you can rest easy since nothing is confirmed yet. Without any official word on this, the thing still remains a mystery. Failed experiment. Two friends were out for a fishing trip when they stumbled upon a shocking sight. It was the carcass of some creature washed ashore. The thing was so terrifying that the duo had to post a video online asking for people to identify it. Pinkish skin, patches of hair on its back, bizarre features, and a huge tail with multiple limbs growing on it. And the most shocking part was the circular mark on its body, possibly showing a date, as if it was a discarded experiment. People were convinced this was the work of some evil scientists confirming their suspicions about hidden experimentation. Jumpy alien. A routine fishing trip turned surreal for a Taiwanese fisherman when he reeled in something beyond explanation. A mass of wriggling, thin, black tentacles moving seemingly of their own will. Baffled, the fisherman took to the internet to seek answers, and the clip quickly gained attention worldwide. Netizens proposed various theories, with some guessing it might be a mutant stick insect or even an alien entity, while others believed it could be a bundle of horsehair worms intertwined. The unusual find has left many questioning the mysteries of the ocean. Could it be a strange new species? Or is it something even stranger? Fish ride. Shocking footage recently surfaced online, sparking a buzz of theories. At first glance, it seemed like a bizarre hybrid. A fish with the upper body of a frog. But with a closer look, people realized something even more interesting was happening. This wasn't a mutant, it was a frog hitching a ride on a fish. While some joked about the mismatched frogfish duo, others pointed out that this was actually typical behavior for male frogs during mating season. Close call. A man in Florida had the wild idea of catching a baby croc from a swamp, but while he was at it, the mama croc lurked nearby and suddenly sprang at him. The guy was nearly a goner if not for his quick reflexes. Let's be real though, he was on a pretty risky mission trying to snatch that baby. I mean, who in their right mind would even go near a croc-infested swamp? Swampy Bigfoot. If you're still on the fence about Bigfoot, this video might just change your mind. The viral clip shows a massive, shadowy figure emerging from a swamp, partly obscured by trees. But its towering, hairy body left viewers convinced it had to be a Sasquatch. Some believe swamp monsters might actually be Bigfoot living in wetlands. One netizen even shared a video of their own. A hulking, hairy beast creeping out of a ditch, snatching a chicken from a bridge, and slipping back into the water. Sasquatch. A hunter out in the woods heard strange noises coming from near a swamp. But when he went to take a look, it was no ordinary animal like he had hoped. The thing was definitely above his pay grade. Shaking in fear, the guy managed to get the creature on tape. The entity appeared to be crouching, making the hunter think it was a gorilla. But when it stood up, he realized it wasn't any animal he had ever seen. It was so tall and covered in thick black fur that the only conclusion he reached was Bigfoot. Unidentified Creature. Out on a boating adventure, this man came across a very strange creature, only its head was peeking out of the water as it swam. Its mouth had an odd beak-like appearance, making it look prehistoric. As the guy drew near to catch a closer look, the creature disappeared underwater again, keeping its identity a mystery. Folks on the internet believed that it was a prehistoric species that had managed to remain hidden for us. However, skeptics believe that it was a tapir that was mistaken for something else. Headless Fish. In this eerie footage, a fisherman reeled in a catch like no other, a headless creature wriggling in his hands. It's the kind of sight that leaves you questioning reality. Internet folks were buzzing with theories, with some suggesting it's proof we're living in a simulation where bizarre glitches, like this headless fish, are normal. How can a fish move without its head? Is it nature just playing tricks on us, or something big is at play here? While we don't have all the answers, the idea of a glitch in the Matrix sounded plausible to many, while skeptics said it was just a rare, natural phenomenon. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments. Ghostly Fisherman. A group of friends exploring an Indonesian jungle with their drone were left stunned by what they discovered near a lake.
Apa yang betul?
Apa itu? Holy sh!
It was a ghostly white humanoid figure perched on a tree stump who appeared to be fishing. The thing was colossal and might even pass off for a yeti.
Uban, bukan uban ini Pak, seluruhnya tuh, lihat kaki-kakinya tuh putih semua, kayak kena albino gitu.
If it wasn't for the unsettling translucent color of its fur. The friends were convinced they had witnessed some kind of a ghost, while netizens online thought it was some cousin of the Bigfoot. But what do you think it was? Mr. Bubbles.
Finally, here at 5, the story of a 70-year-old pet turtle.
Meet Mr. Bubbles, a 70-year-old pet turtle that looks like a cross between a duck and a turtle. But hold your horses, it's not actually a hybrid of the two species. In reality, all turtles have beaks. Yes, that's news to me too. Without proper lighting and nutrients, a turtle's beak can grow excessively.
Beaks, which if not for certain nutrients and lighting, will just keep growing.
Which is exactly what happened to Mr. Bubbles. But luckily, Mr. Bubbles was handed over to Turtle Rescue of the Hamptons, a home to more than 100 turtles. After a much-needed beak trim, Mr. Bubbles can now eat and drink on his own, and even receives daily physical therapy.
Motion helps increase his range of motion.
Washed Up Humanoid. This man was out for a walk when he spotted something washed up in a pond, lying motionless on a big rock. Was a tiny humanoid body. Its unnatural blue coloration and unidentifiable features led many to believe that it was an alien from another world. The other theory is that it was a badly decomposed carcass of an animal, but the mystery remains unsolved to this day. But I'll leave it up to you to decide. Frog Frenzy. You're probably thinking, what are these little chicks doing in the murky waters? But here's the twist. They're not chicks at all. They're actually frogs. Hard to believe, right? These rare frogs were spotted in Madhya Pradesh, India. Typically, they're your usual green. But after rain, they turn bright yellow. Why the wardrobe change? To woo the lady frogs during mating season, of course. Normally, these vibrant frogs keep a low profile in isolated spots. But this time, they were out in full force, like a frog party in the rain, a rare and surprising sight for anyone lucky enough to catch it. Mystery Crypted. On a fishing trip, a fisherman's eye caught a strange scene. From a distance, he saw an unknown being swimming on the water surface. As he moved further, it sneakily swam right under his boat. An alligator? Or an anaconda? The entity was an anomaly, as it didn't look like something you'd find in a river. Fortunately, he caught it on camera, otherwise no one would have believed him. Forest Encounter. A nighttime adventure turned into a spooky run-in when this group of young explorers came face to face with some strange creatures. Spotting a hut in the middle of the forest, all rusty and hidden by leaves, they decided to check it out. Not one, but two weird critters were hanging out inside like they owned the place. Just when this group decided to investigate further, the creepy couple crawled out of their shelter and jumped into the river just to emerge on the other side. Some said it was all a hoax, while others were genuinely freaked out, thinking these creepy cryptids might really be out there in the deep woods. What's your take on this video? And now, let us move on to our subscriber pick of the day. The kappa is a green, human-like creature with webbed hands and feet that emerges from lakes to steal the souls of lost children. This creature of Japanese folklore has been long forgotten. But recently someone drained a pond and discovered a mythical creature hiding in there. The villagers went wild and were instantly upon it with their nets and rods, finally catching it. But that's not where it ends. The entity somehow managed to slip out and vanished. While the locals were convinced they had caught a real-life kappa, skeptics online remained doubtful, claiming it was all staged.